Hello, and welcome to the Gimme a Hall Yeah podcast. This is Evil Udo of the Dark Order. I hope everyone in Yorkshire and beyond are having a awesome day. Join Dark Order.
Hello everyone, how we're doing? It's back for another Hullywood Hangout Sunday evening with Sam. How are you doing?
I'm alright, mate. You said with Sam like I'm some kind of primary... Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I was just turning mine up a little bit.
Oh, right. I thought, oh God, he can't hear me. Yeah, well, it's kind of like all you hang out with Sam and Dan as opposed to with Sam. It makes me sound like I've got some kind of airs and graces, which I almost certainly don't have. But yeah, all right. It's been a little while since I've done one of these. So I was very, very, very keen to do a Friday feature this week and to do a all year hangout. We don't do them every week, so I thought it would be, good to turn up tonight before I come down to Hull in a few days' time. And yeah, we can hear you. Sounds like you're in your kitchen. Well, that's not that wrong, Mark. I am in the extension off the dining room. But Dan, from your side, how does it sound?
Tiny bit of echoey, but not too bad. We've had a lot worse sound.
Yeah, I don't think I've done anything different from what I usually do, but it is what it is. So here we are. I can hear you. Okay.
Yeah.
So
good. That's what we want. So because you actually came into the studio as we was actually doing the intro, I didn't get a chance to give you a rundown of what we're going to do. So I'll keep it nice and simple. We're going to have a bit of a chat about full gear, what I went down last night, have a little bit of a preview towards Survivor Series, mainly the Wargames matches, because we have only got 2 matches announced. I've got 3 matches announced so far, but 2 of the Wargames matches themselves. And then I've got a couple of Nips games, as we always do. And I'm going to end with another quiz.
Awesome.
So we're going to have a bit of fun.
Oh, we've got some VIPs in the comments there, Dan. We've got some VIPs.
I know.
Obviously, we got Mark, who, if you don't know this, folks, well, all I'm going to say is you've never seen Mark and Batman in the same room. I'm just going to leave that there, and you can come to whatever conclusions you want. Obviously, Daz Reynolds is royalty. Hello, Daz. I don't know who Hey Babes is here. Hang on a minute. Have I got... Oh, yes, I do have access to time. I'm so used to doing Andy's, I don't have access to all the back end stuff. So here I am, having fun in the back end. But yeah, so Hey Babes, that could be Dom. Dom has actually just texted me, guys.
Dom has fun in the back end.
Yeah, so I don't know what he's just texted me. He said, I saw this and thought of you, so I dread to think what I've got to click on there, but we'll have a little look. It's probably something innocent. Who else have we got? It's me. Well, that doesn't help at all, does it? Is that you, Mark? Is that you? Oh, I have access. This is 2 minutes in, Dan, and it's already fallen apart. But we've also got to say we've got Roller Coaster of Running in, by the way, folks. So I'm just going to plug Roller Coaster of Running. If you don't know, that's Andy Spores' other channel. That it was all about his fitness journey and going to shredded and doing all this cardio. And it's called Roller Coaster of Running because he does an absolute ton of it in Florida at Disneyland and places like that. So there you go. Give that a follow, please.
Alton Towers, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, if I remember rightly. But yeah, if you're not sure who Andy Spores is, he is the one who does Wrestling Royalties on a Friday night every so often with Sam. Absolutely great features each week. And there was talk about War Games on Friday, so check that out once we're done here.
Mark said if it were me, it'd all be in caps.
Mac just said I'm a bit loud compared to Sam. That could just be my volume on my mic turned up a bit too much, so I've turned it down a fraction. Hopefully that's all right. We've got Deanna. How you doing? Big one, Deanna. How you doing, well? You've had a good weekend. Yeah, Sam. If you're watching any of the or doing any of the Gimme Hullywood stuff and it's in capitals, it's usually going to be back to make sure it's easy to tell who it is.
Well, that's fair enough then. It's just as Mark is shouting at me. Typical Scouser, shouting at me all the time. All the Scousers in my life shout at me, Mark. So there you go. And I'm mostly talking about my mum.
Yeah. Good win for Liverpool coming back from...
You went quiet there, Dan. I didn't hear that, mate. I think it was football related, though.
Yeah, Liverpool won 3-2 earlier on, so I was just sort of saying big up the Scousers.
I don't know whether they're all happy. Oh, I see. Fair play. An Irish Scouser, I think you will find. Scousers are Scouser, mate. I've got no problem with Scousers. I'm half Scouser myself, so I can't really say anything. Yeah. You faded out a couple of times then, Dan. I'll let you know if it happens again, but we should be all right, hopefully.
I just moved the mic, so that might help a little bit. So when you're moving your earphones, it does sound a bit like an airplane taking off. I haven't actually noticed that at my end, but
I haven't. I'll try not to.
Well,
I'll try not to touch them again. God, we're having technical difficulties. We really need to up the budget, don't we? If you're listening, Anthony and Dom, if you're listening.
Yes, I mean, I have actually gone completely wireless with mine, so it makes it so much easier. I don't have to worry about sort of knocking cables or anything like that. There's nothing else for me to attack. But I thought we're going to have a bit of fun. We're going to start off with the Nips game, and then we'll get into what went down at Full Gear. How's that sound?
I've got a confession, Dan.
Go for it.
Do you know what it is?
You're excited for Nips.
I'm always excited for Nips, but I haven't actually watched Full Gear fully yet. I'll tell you for why. It's mostly because it happened last night. I've just had a very busy day. I've watched the pre-show and a couple of the early matches. I know some of the spoilers, so I can still give some expert analysis, he says. Expert analysis. But I'll do my best, at least. But we've got WWE to talk about. There's some TNA stuff going down as well. I'll plug WrestleSphere later. But over to you, Dan, and your Nips.
I mean, I do sometimes forget to charge them, but I have now got a new stand where I can put them to charge once I'm finished. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen anymore, Mark. So we'll see how we go. So I've started off with this one. So we are starting off with a Nips game. So as always, get your guesses in. Once you get them in and you get it right, Sam's going to sing you a little poem.
Am I?
Yeah, well, why not? There we go.
What people don't know is I can see these before he puts them on the back end. So I've just got like a face full of nipples before anybody else has. But there you go, folks. I think, who's a nose?
That's never a bad thing.
So they're not, whoever this is, they're not especially chiseled, are they? So who's got dad bod nipples? Who's got those in wrestling? See, now I don't want to say anything.
When I actually saw the original photo, I actually thought they looked too far in, looked too close to each other.
They do, don't they? They look like they're about
to zoom out on the photo. I'll show you.
It looks like they're about to
Mark's
put on
some Margaret.
Oh, see,
And just so people know, Sam hasn't actually been told any of these.
No.
He's literally come on, and I've got everything prepared. It's not Samoa Joe.
It's not
Cena.
See, the person I want to say, right, I don't dare say because I've been in the room with him before, and there's a very real chance I might be in the room with him again at some point. And if this ever finds its way to him, I might be in trouble.
I was going to say, send it in the private chat, and I'll tell you yes or no.
No, I'm going to say it because that's comedy value. I can't say that and now not say who it is, can I? But if you're watching Daddy Magic Menard, I do apologise. I don't know what it is about their nipples. They're magic, but yeah, they could be Solo Sikoa's nipples, Mark. Yeah, they could be Solo Sikoa's nipples.
They could be. They are not.
Nah,
they are definitely not Solos.
Are they not Daddy Magics?
They are not.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So this one has been in WWE and AEW. It is not Seth. Deanna knows it's not Seth straight away.
I mean, if it was Seth, like Seth is pretty chiseled. Yes. So whoever this is,
on that basis, it's definitely not Balor either.
No, Balor is made out of granite. Absolutely not. Good thing about being a skinny guy, you can get quite buff quite quick, but you can't maintain it. But anyway,
whoever it is needs to go to a doctor. I don't know why, but go on then. Let's keep them guesses coming in. The more you guess, the more chance you've got of getting it right.
What's that behind him? What's that at the top there? Like, part of me would say Dusty Rhodes, but he's not been in AEW. Oh, his boy has been though. Edge, nah, is that Edge? I know who it is.
It's not.
I know who it is. I've got it. It's Chris Jericho.
On the nipples. It's not Chris Jericho.
Ah! Damn it. Useless.
It's not Black. I mean, I'm presuming you mean Malachi Black, and it's not Malachi Black.
Dude, Malachi Black is...
My guess is...
covered in tattoos and is considerably chiseled.
Yes.
Whoever this is, it's someone who's... I think it's someone who's quite husky. Am I right, Dan? Are they a little bit husky? Like they kind of use their size?
Nope.
No.
It's not LA Knight by the sounds of that. If it's not, presuming LA Knight,
Brody King's covered in tats, though.
Brody King. It's not Brody King. It's not Dustin Rhodes. It's not Adam Cole.
Oh, it could be Adam Cole.
Good guesses. Very good guesses. Keep them coming.
So they're not husky. Okay, who are you?
And I think you'll kick yourself at some point when you actually find out who it is.
Is it? Not Kyler. What's he called? Big lad.
No, not Kyle O'Reilly, but again, very good guess.
The Redwood. Is it the Big Redwood?
It's not Christian Cage. It's not Eric Redbeard.
No, the other Redwood. No, the other WWE. Oh yeah, WWE called him the Redwood for a time, didn't they? No, I mean Big Cass, Big Bill.
Not Bobby Fish. No, it's not.
Damn it!
Great guesses again, still though.
Okay.
I'm liking this one. I like to see how long people go. W. Morrissey. Yeah, Big Bill, Big Cass, whichever one it is. It's not Moxley either, Mark.
Give us a clue, Dan. What's this person done another clue that we could try and narrow it down? Because everyone has nipples.
In a couple of the biggest storylines of the past few years.
Oh, sugar. Right, okay.
It's not Claudio.
Orange Cassidy.
Well, it's obviously within the past 5 years because I've worked for WWE and AEW in that time.
See, our Orange Cassidy.
So that should help it down. It's not Orange Cassidy.
Because he's only done one match for WWE anyway, Orange Cassidy, so it couldn't be him.
Yeah.
Right.
Very good outside the box thinking, but nope.
Pac.
Oh, it can't be Pac. Pac's way too chiseled for that.
I mean, Pac is like came out of the womb with a 6-pack, guys. Come on, it ain't Pac. Pac's never been to the gym a day in his life. He just looks like that naturally. Okay. WWE.
Diana's giving up. I mean, stick around.
Rusev.
Nope.
It's not Cody Rhodes, is it? Cody Rhodes isn't too chiseled, but he's these days, actually.
He is. But yeah, I mean, you've obviously got the dream tattoo just there.
Yeah. He's had that a long time.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, I'm nearly there.
Wardlow, again, I think Wardlow's a bit buffer. MJF is a lot buffer, I think, than...
Oh, yeah, MJF is really, really chiseled these days. Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. Come on, guys. Who's like MJF, Wardlow? These people haven't been in WWE unless they were security guards once upon a time.
Look at the people that worked in both companies.
Yeah, let's look at the big who are in big storylines right now. They're in AEW right now, are they, Dan? But they've been in WWE as well.
I didn't say AEW or WWE, but they have worked for both.
Oh, well, that changed.
So it's not Mira.
And are they in a major storyline right now? Are they in a major storyline right now?
Possibly.
Wow, that's a bit non-committal.
It's not Moxley. We have already had Moxley. Max said that earlier on. It's not Sean Spears. Good guess. Very good guess.
Ethan Page.
Nope. Good guess, though. Very good guess.
He's chiseled now. He didn't used to be a while ago, but he's absolutely shredded now.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
He's been putting time in, that boy. Ricky Starks.
Ricky Starks, again, very good guess. But it's not Pillman Jr. either, Deanna. But again, another good guess. Very good guesses coming. Come on, who's been in big storylines in both companies? Who's been world champion in both companies?
He's been a world champion, right? Okay. Well, it's not CM Punk, is it? Because he's covered in tats. Oh, it is CM Punk! I got it right at the end. Yes, I got it. Fucking right. Oh, and that's why it looks like he's got a dad bod, because he's doing all that stuff.
Yes,
that was the scene.
Exactly.
But
because I was thinking of just sort of.
That's a Ring of Honor picture.
I was sort of thinking of having it sort of there.
Give it away straight away.
But I didn't know whether that you'd get that straight away. So I had to go a bit higher, but I couldn't go too high because you would have had that.
Fair enough. See, that really, really looks like that is a really old picture of CM Punk. Like, he's got long hair. Like, that's Sermon on the Mount Ring of Honor days, you know. Look how young he looks.
And that to me is, I mean, it's not a baby face, but yeah, compared to what we see now with the grey hair all over and the full chest piece of tattoos.
I actually think what's interesting is on that picture, he's he's clearly spent a lot of time in the gym since that picture. That's not me disparaging him or body shaming or anything like that. It's just an observation. And I actually think Punk makes the grey hair really work for him. I think let's say Edge is another one. Any greys that he's got, the more he's got, the more grizzled he looks. I actually think Punk really makes that work. Honestly, I like to think I make it work as well. My wife's told me I do, because I've got an increasing amount of grey hairs. It's getting a bit punkish, if I'm being honest. I'm not about to smack my co-workers or win any world championships, but we'll see.
Yeah, I just thought it was. I saw the photo and I was like, "Oh, that could be good." I tried to find the highest resolution I could so it would have so much detail. But yeah, it was something I just thought really good now. Deanna's saying it works for who he is now with the grey hair. I agree. And like Sam said, it does give him really good look. It makes him stand out quite a bit as well.
See, now when he used to say, "I'm a locker room leader" to Booker T might actually believe him. The grey hairs, they do it.
Yeah.
Although the last time he didn't.
So, I mean, we'll talk about Full Gear. It did go down last. No, you're okay. It did go down last night. I've had a very, very quick flick through it, just to go through what went down, just to try and sort of keep a little bit of information of what we can talk about. So we started off on the main pay-per-view itself with Private Party defending the World Tag Team Championships in a fatal four-way. Kings of the Black Throne, the Outrunners, and the Acclaimed was all vying for them titles. So what you've seen so far, Sam, or if you've seen any of it, how do you think each team sort of looked going into the match?
See, I actually have seen this one. I have watched this match. For me, this was kind of look. I'm just going to be honest, and if people don't know by now, I hate 3 and 14 tag matches because they break kayfabe completely. There's no realistic reason why you'd ever tag out or tag in, if that makes any sense. So I think I hate the stipulation in general. If you're going to have a tag team match, have a tag team match, or if you really want 8 men in the ring at once, have an 8-man tag team. It's like have 2 teams. Like a Survivor Series match, like that. Do it that way. But in regards to so that it's got that against it straight away. So I'm already failing it for that. I think Private Party are great. I like them as champs as well. It's nice that we've kind of been reminded who they are. But I feel like this sounds awful, but I feel like they're kind of just placeholders after the Young Bucks are taking some time off. I think Malachi Black might be on his way out of the company. I don't know anything. It's just what the rumors are suggesting. So they were never going to get the belts. I'm not a big Outrunners guy. really. The 80s gimmick, I think, is a bit played out. I feel like it's been done and done and done, and I don't really see who's still crying out for that. And you'll never do it as well as Johnny Swinger. Sorry, boys. A shout out to Johnny Swinger, by the way. Interviewed him twice. What a geezer. But for me, this match was all about the tension between the Acclaimed and Max Caster getting a business card from MVP, and that creating some tension between them as a tag team. So I think one of these guys might be turning heel. Like Caster's been acting very heelish recently, but I actually think it'll be Bowens who turns on him, getting jealous that Caster got the gets all the gimmicks and got the card. So yeah, it was an all right match. Private Party going over. They really want us to acknowledge Private Party as the best tag team in the company. I'll play along for now, but I wasn't completely enamored by this. Not really, because it's 4 teams in a tag match, and it's not for me.
Yeah, the sort of match stipulation itself, I think, doesn't work for the 4 teams. There was a point where I can't remember if it was Max Caster or Bowens was saying to pin me to his partner because they'd both been tagged in, and the referee, I think it was Bryce Remsberg off the top of my head, actually did go to pin him. The referee did start counting, so that could have really helped playing that four-way gimmick. That makes sense.
Yeah, well, they're on opposite teams though, so they're on the same team though. Like, do you know what I mean? I can't keep track. I just think it's I just thought it was silly. I didn't quite understand what they were doing with that. So Caster was telling Bowens to pin him.
Yeah.
Then that wouldn't do anything because they're on opposite. Do you know what I mean? That wouldn't make any sense. Like, you can't. It doesn't work like that.
One member of the team would win it. Yeah, one member of the team would win it, but the other one technically would lose it. And so it doesn't make sense to.
And since when in wrestling, in an 8-man tag, have you been able to do that to your tag team partner? That it doesn't make any, like, the one is the legal man on one side, one is the legal man on the other. It's just I'm not a fan. Everybody involved in that needs to hang their heads in shame. Absolutely, just ridiculous. And this is the sort of problem. This is the problem AEW has. They think they're being clever. They think they're being edgy, and they're not. They're just being. And WWE do it sometimes as well when they pretend. They change the rules out of nowhere. But that's just odd and just rubbish. And I really think they should pretend it didn't happen. That's god awful.
Yeah. I mean, throughout the match, Max Caster did get a lot of negative chants from the crowd. That might be helping to decide. Yeah, that's helping plant the seeds of dissension in the Acclaimed. I thought one of the cool things was Black and King was played to the ring with a live performance of the theme song.
Yeah.
That was quite cool. For me, Outrunners and Private Party have had a really big surge in sort of crowd support lately. And that is why Private Party got the nod to take the titles off the Young Bucks. But I think probably the Outrunners should have won that one.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like they've only just got the Private Party back to where they want them to be. So if they were to take it off them now, it would end the second Private Party experiment. Because remember when the Acclaimed were catching fire and they wouldn't put the belts on them. So I think they've got to sometimes listen to the fans, but they've also sometimes got to know when they're moving towards something. And I'm not entirely convinced Private Party ready, but I'm not convinced Outrunners are ready to hold the belts now. I feel like if Outrunners were to hold the belts, it would diminish their value a little bit. No disrespect to the Outrunners, but they're not there yet. Where the Acclaimed and Private Party to a point are, but the Acclaimed almost certainly are. They've held them a few times now, haven't they, I think? Yes,
it should have been a ladder match. I agree. I think that would have been a better idea.
I think Mark's absolutely right, because if you make it a ladder match, all of a sudden you get rid of that silly stipulation, you get rid of the awkwardness, and it means and they're just very entertaining, aren't they? Yeah, if this had been a ladder match, that would have been great.
Yeah. Deanna's saying, glad Private Party are getting the chance to defend the belts, but wanted the Outrunners to win. Yeah, Hunter wants them. I think Bowens as well. Yeah, New Day rule. What would you think about the Outrunners versus FTR though? If they had the titles, would you want to see that?
I think I
So
would.
it corroborates his throwbacks.
I actually think I would, because they're different kinds of 80s throwbacks. Like Outrunners are the whole, ooh, yeah, look at these pythons. They're doing the whole Hulk Hogan thing, where the FTR called themselves the Revival in WWE, because they weren't about the whole celluloid WWF just on TV thing. Their gimmick is they're the territories era wrestling, that they're bringing back the really old school. So I'm way more of it. Like, I'm a massive FTR guy, but I would be interested in that, Dan, because Outrunners versus FTR could actually be a good story, because that's what the Outrunners need. They need to stop the silly gimmicks. Although I do kind of like the VHS quality segments they do. I think that's quite funny, but that could be very good, because I'd like the idea of FTR being like, yeah, we're up against you, but come on, we're FTR and you're the Outrunners. We're going to win this. And the Outrunners then proving them wrong. I think that could be pretty cool, because you could have the FTR be quite arrogant and become quite heelish in that scenario, where the Outrunners, that wouldn't work for them at this moment. So that's what the Outrunners need. They need to lean into that. They need a good story. They need to stop just enough with the silliness now. Do something that makes me want to actually root for you. Do something with that gimmick, like Orange Cassidy. He still has that gimmick, but they've actually used it, like, for years. They weren't using him right. Now all of a sudden they are. Like, for example, the other day when he was cornered by the Moxley's gang, he still did the pretend kicks thing as a taunt. He still did it because that's his character. So I think the Outrunners need that now. They need some seriousness thrown in with the silliness.
Yeah. We've got JK, how you doing? Max saying Outrunners versus FTR, is this NWA or AEW? And that's why I think it'd be fun, because they could throw it into an NWA style sort of video package setup. I think it'd be good fun. Max saying, don't get me wrong, it'd be good, but weird. Yes. Whereas Deanna's saying FTR versus Outrunners would be classics. Daz thinks the Dudleys brought their tables back from AEW. Elimination tag titles match. Again, elimination I don't think really works, but maybe do it as a gauntlet style match. That to me would have made it a bit better. Maybe give Private Party a little bit more of gravitas, because you are giving them multiple wins, and have said Kings of the Black Throne versus the Acclaimed, and then have the Acclaimed go over, keep them in, beat the Outrunners, and then Private Party come in at the last minute to defend the titles. But yeah, there's so many different ways it could work.
Like,
Chris saying FTR versus Outrunners, we like to see. Yeah.
Sorry, mate. I was going to say, you're a babyface. Why would you ever tag out unless it's to your tag team partner? Do you know what I mean? That's my main beef.
Yeah.
WWE had that view for years as well, probably under Vince, because I think Vince hated the concept. And it's very, very rare. I prefer something Vince McMahon did over Triple H. But since Triple H has been in charge, they've started doing these matches. And I'm like, no, not you two. Because they all do them now. TNA, AEW, and WWE all do these matches now. And it's just, there's some good action, but I can't give it my seal of approval, because it's
full,
kayfabe breaking schmoz. But anyway.
So, if we can't give it the seal, we'll go on to the next match, which I thought had a really good sort of possibility of being the match of the night, or the surprise match of the night. MJF going up against Roderick Strong. Have you watched this one yet?
I have. You go first. I'm going to eat this Lindor. You go first while I eat this Lindor.
Okay. So I thought, as characters go, I don't think you can beat MJF really. For me, MJF is trying to go back to the smarmy heel that he was a good couple of years ago before he turned babyface with Adam Cole. And I think he's trying too hard to be heel because the crowd are actually liking him. And I'm not sure whether I think this MJF character is world champion material anymore. And I think he's dropping down the card very, very fast. The MJF story going forward as a heel doesn't work unless he's doing heelish stuff to other people. Like, I mean, the lashes that he gave with Cody, the demeaning sort of treatment of Wardlow, that's proper heel, and now he's trying too hard for that, I think, and I don't think it works for him. It feels very uncomfortable when he's in the ring doing that.
I'm going to agree and disagree. So I'm going to disagree with Jake as well. He says MJF was awful as a face. I don't think he was, and I'll tell you why. And I also think AEW are booking themselves backwards to make up for something that was out of their control. And I do agree they've messed up MJF, but here's what the original plan was for MJF before everybody got injured and they had to kind of pivot. The original plan was this. Samoa Joe takes the belt off him, goes on a tear. Who knows, loses it. Maybe eventually loses it to Adam Cole or Wardlow, and then Wardlow lies down for Cole or something like that. And then MJF comes back. MJF comes back as a Dark Avenger, takes out Joe, takes out everyone who's hurt him. The Undisputed Kingdom at this point are the biggest heels in the company. They're running roughshod over everyone. A little bit like Moxley's crew are doing right now. You know, and Adam Cole is this power mad monster. And MJF, you know, this guy who's been a bad guy, who's done all these terrible things, is the only one who can ultimately stop him. And it ends up either all in Wembley or elsewhere. And who knows who wins that feud? But the plan was for MJF to come back and for MJF to like always be teetering on going back to that dark place. Because here's where he was when he was a heel. Because here's the thing with MJF and in that storyline, MJF genuinely, and the commentators, even Shivani on Dynamite this week, tried pretending this didn't happen. But in that story, Adam Cole genuinely did make MJF a better person. It took some doing, but MJF genuinely did turn decent and genuinely did, kind of see the error of his ways, which is what made the betrayal by Cole so terrible, because MJF actually did change. So the plan was always to bring MJF back and go on a tear, but ultimately to do the right thing and be. But is MJF is he better as a heel? Yes, of course he is. He's a generational heel, but he had the opportunity to be a generational babyface, which was the plan, and they messed it up but it's mostly due to injury. So let's not forget that a little while ago, Adam Cole came back, pretended to be a babyface, then was a massive colossal heel again, and then went away again for a bit. This whole thing has been backwards, and Tony Khan and pals are very, very keen for us to forget all that and see Adam Cole as a face. And I get it works with the current booking, but yeah, they messed up with MJF. Now, so they're going back to the well with MJF, which was you have to go through all my trials. But sorry, the way I watch this, AEW can gaslight the audience all they want. Cole is the villain in this story. And look, MJF has become villainous since then, particularly with the Danny Garcia stuff and all of that. But no, this was building somewhere very special and very bold. And I get why they changed it, but I'm of the view they should have held their nerve. They should have had they shouldn't have turned MJF heel. They should have had him be somewhat of a tweener and had Adam Cole come back, an absolute supervillain. That's what I think. And I'm aware a lot of people disagree with that, but that was the original plan. And that original plan, I thought at the time, was brilliant. And if anyone wants to hear me rant about this anymore, when we launch Hullywood Hindsight, which is basically me saying this is how they should have done it. And this, when we do that, this is high on my list because it's one of those things that really eats me. And I've talked enough. Over to you, Dan.
No, I think if Cole didn't get injured at that moment, what was it now? Almost 18 months ago. I think that story would have seen you through most of this year.
Yeah.
And I reckon maybe even Adam Cole would have held the world title and taken it off of MJF, because I think that would have been the way that they would have gone with it.
I love the idea of someone saying to MJF, saying to him, like, look, MJF, yes, Cole betrayed you, but you get the credit for becoming a better person. You get it, not Cole. That was you who did that, not him. So this idea that MJF is there like, yeah, I'm not trusting anyone. You can't trust anyone. A better story would have been MJF to be like, do you know what? Thank you, Adam. You know, I know you did everything just to hurt me, but you didn't. You fixed me. You know, and I've now realized like you were worse than I was all along. Like, you know, I was just a lonely guy who had no friends, who thought he was better than everyone else. Don't get me wrong, pause. I'm still better than everyone else. But you know what, Adam? We're all better than you, and you know it. There you go, Tony Khan.
Yeah.
I'll send you a check. But do you know what I mean? Like that, they were going somewhere very special. Say again, mate, sorry.
No, I was going to say Tony Khan should be sending you the check for your storytelling.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, Tony, you know where I am, mate. We spoke. I know you know who I am. But we won't go into that. We won't go into that. And I promise, Tony, if you ever do see this, I won't ever say the word joke in your company ever again, because I know that didn't go down well last time I said that. Yeah, Google it, folks. Google it. Anyway.
Before you get yourself into any more trouble.
Hey,
Mercedes Moné, TV Championship, and Chris Statlander. So, have you watched this one?
I have. I've seen more of this than we think, haven't I?
You have?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go for it, what do you think?
Good match. Really good match. Bit of a weird finish. I wasn't a massive fan of the finish. I thought Statlander got a little bit buried. I was kind of hoping to see some more action with Camille putting herself on the line for Mercedes and that going horribly wrong, and maybe just seeing a moment from Camille who got mad at Mercedes. But no. I feel like that was a wasted opportunity just to kind of, because the thing that I'm interested in this story is when Camille takes off the broken arm thing and plants Mercedes. That's what I'm waiting for now. And this was too early to do that, but it wasn't too early for some kind of moment where they really push that story forward.
Yeah. I mean, for me, Chris Statlander is someone that the AEW locker room should be built around, and the full show should be built around, because I think Statlander is absolutely fantastic. For me, Mercedes Moné it's just not clicking with me. I don't know why. And all the time she's been in AEW, and even before that, it just felt like she was trying to live off the Sasha Banks gimmick, because that's all she's known. She hasn't tried to reinvent herself on the independent scene and then in AEW. So to me, every time I'm watching it, I'm just thinking, yeah, but that's honest. You're trying to be Sasha Banks with the boss and then the CEO. You haven't changed the gimmick at all.
I disagree.
You haven't done anything fresh.
I disagree to a point. I think when she came out in New Japan with the when she debuted the Money gimmick, and Dom and I were watching live and just laughing our heads off because someone was going Money like Terrence and Phillip. So we found that hilarious at the time. But I actually thought it was an evolution of the boss gimmick. It was almost like this is her evolved form of the boss gimmick. So I did kind of like it. Like, wrestlers do that all the time. Like, they take their gimmick from WWE, or they take the gimmick from TNA or AW, and they take it to another company and they just tweak it. Like, that's normal industry practice. So I don't really hold that against her. The thing that I'm a bit annoyed about is it's more the booking. I feel like they've put the belt on her because she's her, and they haven't really built to a good story with it. But I think that's a symptom of AW's booking the women's division more than anything. I think she's working quite nicely with the material they're giving her, and I know she has a say in that too. So maybe she holds some of the responsibility. It's not. The fact is, she should be the biggest heel woman in the company right now, and she's not. Mariah May is. So, and Mariah May is Charlotte Flair and NXT Sasha Banks rolled into one right now.
Yeah.
So, a part of me thinks, should they have kept a face and just basically had her be some kind of powerful and dominant face who doesn't say much, doesn't do much, because they kind of introduced her as a face, and the heel turn just kind of came out of nowhere because to lean into some of the fan hate, and that's not always the way to do it. It is in the case of Roman Reigns or someone like that, but I don't know. I feel like they gave up on her being a star, but I think that if this is a heel turn to make her sympathetic, to build her into a face, like they did with Roman Reigns and many other people, I don't know if this is the way to do it. Like, because I'm with Statlander, I can't keep I can't keep track. Like, she was a face, then she portrayed Willow Nightingale. Now she's the plucky baby face again. Now they're turning her too quick. Not feeling it. No. So
it's very Big Show flopping about, isn't it?
Yeah, it's when they turned the heel, Statlander, it actually had some potential. Now she's babyface again with no friends, and it's like, I don't know, not for me. If I'm being honest, this whole thing, not for me. I think Statlander needs to be someone else.
Yeah, I mean, I think Max hit it on the head for me because it feels like she's there for the paycheck, then leave, and it's basically Triple H, I'm ready to come back because I want to work under you instead of the old regime because I know you'll look after me. And to me, her character as the boss, even the CEO, is a better WWE fit than it is anywhere else, and that's probably the issue. Is the gimmick is too WWE to be an independent or an AEW gimmick.
Yeah, maybe. And the CEO thing doesn't work for me. Like the boss thing was a taunt. I'm legit. I'm the legit boss. Bosses make bank. I get it. Okay, it's not my cup of tea, but I get it. The CEO thing. Okay, for starters, that
for her.
Like, well, I'm your CEO. Say hello to your, but you're not the CEO. You're just another wrestler.
No.
But like, isn't Tony Khan the CEO? So how can you be? It doesn't work for me. And the music is just so obnoxious. I have to mute it every time. Every time I hear CEO, CEO. And why are you coming out to Beethoven's Fifth? Not Beethoven's Fifth. What's it called? It's not that. It's not the fifth. The fifth is dun 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 dun. But why are you coming out to the Gunther's theme tune with someone shouting CEO over the top? Come on now, you can do. Come back out to money. To pop Dom in this.
Statlander's big one. The division, 10 face and heel with a click of a finger. Yeah, Deanna's saying hit the CEO thing. Mercedes is not above everyone. Completely agree.
I'd see that.
Mercedes.
She kind of could be. But right now, like, she's like, let's be honest, who's a bigger star in terms of wrestling? Like Mercedes Moné / Sasha Banks or Mariah May? It's obviously Mercedes, but who's doing the gimmick better right now? Mariah May by a million. Yeah. She's such a shit, but she's so good at it. But Mercedes. Yeah. The whiny, your CEO thing. It's no. Like, at least when everything Mariah says or does is laced with poison. Where Mercedes is just being, Mercedes is just being whiny. Like, Mariah May is a super villain. It's going to take the Avengers to bring her down. Where Mercedes is eventually going to get slapped by a one-armed Camille, and it's done.
Yeah, I mean, she was better in WWE though, still very sloppy in the ring. Jake's worried that she'll hurt someone. I mean, I think she's an okay wrestler. No, that's the thing. I was just about to say, I think she's a safe wrestler. She's got a couple of good moves, but she's never going to be putting on a 5-star classic.
Bailey Sasha, though.
I think that's the thing.
Bailey Sasha NXT. Like I
Was
know
that
it was.
5-star?
I don't know if it was 5-star, but it was one of the best women's matches I've ever seen in my entire life. But I think it was a lot to do with the story, more more
Yeah,
than
the
and
story made the match rather than the wrestling.
it's like Mark saying she's not even Marie bad. No, but even Marie bad, that was the gimmick. And like, yeah, Jake's right. Bailey probably did carry the match because Bailey is genuinely legit. But I've never. There are some wrestlers I watch and I go, Jesus, what are they doing on that stage? Mercedes Moné and Sasha Banks have never been. I've never done that for them. Like I might do it for, I don't want to really throw anyone under the bus right now, but there are people I look at and go, when they work, and I've never really done that with Mercedes. And I'm not above anyone else, but I think we all know I've been watching this stuff a long time, and I know bad when I see it, and I know good when I see it too. But I know we all have subjective opinions, but I would say objectively, she's not a terrible wrestler. I don't think she's one of the best in the world in the ring, but I don't think she doesn't do anything to kind of like make me go oof like some of them do. Right? Yeah. Well, yeah. Mark,
She's
you're
not
free, right. You're free to say Ryback here. I'd say that to Ryback's face as long as there was steel bars between us.
But yeah, I mean, what was it? Max just put a little note in, thinks New Year, Tony Storm comes back with a new gimmick to destroy me.
Yes!
I think that's a good shout.
I'm invested in that. I'm so invested in that. Fun facts, by the way, folks. When we were at you probably all saw it when you watched the press conference, and whatever you do, don't go and watch the Hook stuff for that press conference because that's where it all falls apart for me. But when Mariah May came out at that press conference, and she's there, she's only a few feet in front of me and Dom, and she comes out and she's like, I'm sure you've all got some questions, and I'm not going to answer them, and just walked out. And like, that hit different on TV to what it was like in the room. Because in the room, it was just so funny. It was just like everyone was trying not to die. Same with Paige when she came out and threatened everyone, or Saraya when she came out and threatened everyone. We were all like, but anyway, it looked quite scary on TV. But there you go. Yeah.
So next match, it's two people I absolutely love watching in the ring: Hangman Adam Page going up against Jay White. What did you think to this if you've watched it?
I have seen this one as well. I've seen more of this pay-per-view than we know. I think this is the last one I've seen. So yeah, this was great, but I feel like I've seen it before. Great two guys I really like. I could watch them wrestle forever, but I feel like Jay White winning was good, but I feel like it takes some of the heat off Paige. I think Paige needed the win here over White, personally. But it was a fun match. I might actually watch this one again because I think I looked down a few times at my phone and stuff watching this one. But yeah, so from what I saw, I've got not other than the finish. Whoever went over, I haven't got a huge amount to say. It was a good match by two reliable guys, and I love the buckshot lariat, and I love the I love all the finishes and stuff of these two guys, and I love their characters.
Yeah, I mean, for me, there wasn't an out-and-out babyface, wasn't an out-and-out heel. It was so back and forth of there was both sort of not trying to be tweeners, but they are both getting mixed reactions from the fans, and I didn't think it felt like the crowd was invested because they didn't know who they wanted to cheer for. Yeah,
it's a weird one here as well, because historically between these two men, Jay White is the villain, and Jay White has been a villain pretty much everywhere he's been since he created the Switchblade gimmick in New Japan. He's been he was the Bullet Club leader for years, and he was. And the minute he left Bullet Club, and he stopped being its leader, at least that majority, the biggest action of it, it kind of fizzled out a bit. But anyway, Jay White is the guy who kicked the Elite, including Hangman Adam Page, out of Bullet Club. So I think they could have leaned in. Maybe that's like it's ancient history now, pre-pandemic stuff. But I don't know. I feel like that could have added a little bit more salt into the wound. White could have used that to antagonize Paige a little bit. But they are, in recent weeks, they've been pushing White as a face. Like he's been coming to the aid of Juice and things like that. And he's been like, these people are with me to the crowd. It's like, what do you mean people are with you? You Switchblade Jay White, everyone thinks you're a knob. That's the whole point. Jay White was always the guy who can
heal.
Yeah, who can get it done in the ring, but chooses to be a coward. Yeah. But I'm game with I'm game for a babyface Jay White. I am. I think it's only a matter of time. But I do think there needs to be a moment, a aha moment, if you're going to turn Jay White face. There needs to be a moment that makes him see the light, not just like the Bang Bang Gang. How many times have they betrayed the Acclaim now? How many times have they when they gathered all the belts and they were being evil? Like, if you're gonna tell me AW, like I know some people, oh Sam, why do you need the heel and the face dynamic? You don't always. It's okay to have tweeners sometimes, definitely. Like CM Punk has never been a babyface in the entire time he's been back in wrestling. In my point of view, I know a lot of the people disagree with that, but that's why I look at it. But with these two, I do think it like they're clearly building Paige to be a massive heel. So do something, I don't know, just cement it with White. Do something with him.
Yeah. Next match, to me, it had to be match of the night. It's obvious when it's got Will Ospreay in there, going up against Kyle Fletcher. Do you think it's going to be in the contender for match of the year? Are you watch this one?
Haven't seen this one. Very much looking forward to this one. This is the one. Like you can tell. Like I know the finish because I've seen it all over social media. You don't work in wrestling media and not. The minute I picked up my phone this morning, I saw everybody who had won. So I agree with who went over. Because if they hadn't done it that way, the entire storyline ends. So. I'm just curious to see where it goes from now. Presumably, they're going to keep this going for a while.
Yeah, I think for me, this story with Aussie Open as well does help further down the line as well. Ospreay wore the Punisher style outfit to the ring, which I thought was quite cool. That looked absolutely amazing. He had a lot of darker outfits, whereas normally he has a bit fewer bright colours. I think for me, there was one spot that, to me, when you watch it, you'll go, that is incredible. Ozcutter got countered into a neck breaker, so keep your eye out for that bit, Sam.
Oh yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. See, I think Ospreay's great. I think Fletcher's great. See, I remember watching Fletcher in like really obscure Rev Pro shows years ago, and he was like really, really tall, really, really thin. And I sometimes worried for him when he took certain bumps because he was such a thin dude back then. And he's put on so much size now, and he looks great cutting his hair. He's big at like it was. The gimmick always was that Fletcher was the fast but tall guy, and Dunkzilla, Mark Davis, was always the big burly guy who did all the rah. But Mark Davis is clearly like got quite trim, where Fletcher has gone like quite beefy. So they've almost flipped roles, and it's really, really odd to see them next to each other these days when how they both used to look. Both guys have clearly worked incredibly hard. But yeah, I'm a big fan of this. I don't know if Fletcher is a main event guy. Thank you. Yes, she just brought me a chamomile tea. I don't know if Fletcher is the like a main event guy in the way that Ospreay is, but this doesn't hurt. Like people go, oh, they buried Ospreay. It might hurt his momentum. Nah, Ospreay be fine.
Yeah, I think for that one, it's going to be a strap on Kyle Fletcher's back, and I don't even think Will Ospreay will notice the loss on his record.
No,
people love to watch him wrestle, so having a loss on your record to help put someone else over,
And someone you're
He's probably going to get the win back at some point.
Yeah, and someone in real
probably
life
going to get the win back at some point.
Oh yeah, Ospreay will win the feud. You know, Ospreay will win the feud, but it makes sense for Fletcher to win a match within it, of course.
Yeah. But yeah, he's won the battle, but he's going to lose the war in the end. Ospreay, for me, I think is probably going to be in the top 2 wrestlers of this year in terms of match quality all the way throughout the year. Because it doesn't seem to put a foot wrong, I don't think.
He's dead good. He's always improving.
Yeah.
This is the one
that I do kind of miss. Go on.
Sorry, I think there's a delay, because I think it keeps happening. I think there's a bit of a delay between us. I don't know if it's on whose side it's on, but there is a bit of a delay. But yeah, I was going to say this out of all the matches on the card, this was the one I'm looking forward to the most. So yeah. So hopefully maybe tomorrow I'll get this one watched. I ran out of time today, but yeah. So over to you, mate.
No, I was going to say the one thing that I always remember from early Will Ospreay matches in compared to now is he used to be very vocal in the ring. And I think that's what I kind of missed, because I remember watching early shows when he was in WCPW, Defiant, very early on, and he used to swear quite a lot in the ring.
Yeah, New Japan as well.
And and it was so much fun to sit and watch. I think we're losing a bit of that at the minute, and I think it's not taken away from it because he's still a phenomenal performer, but I just want him to give that little bit of vocal back because the crowd always reacted to it.
Yeah, like there's times in New Japan where he'd get hit and he'd go, "You effing see," just out of nowhere, and they'd be like, "Woo, Will, blimey!" But yeah, you can't get away with that on TNT TV. So, but I know what you mean. It'd be good if we heard him like
interview, maybe.
Yeah.
So next one, I thought was going to be a good match, and it turned out to be a bit more of a dud than I expected.
Oh.
But I just love that TNT title.
Yeah.
That title's beautiful. And have you seen the video of Jack Perry making the title?
No, I haven't. I'll have to hunt that down. I have been a big fan of the scapegoat Jack Perry, though. I'm very much enjoying that. I hope that carries on a while. But now he's not got the belt. I think Dan, they're going to go back to the original TNT belt. I kind of hope they don't, but I have a feeling this is going to go the way of Daniel Bryan's, nice WWE belt he made that time. But anyway. Yeah, don't worry about the delays. Yeah, imagine that the people who care about the environment are the bad guys in WWE in Vince McMahon's WWE. Bloody hell! But yeah, anyway.
So I'm just going to ask, what did you think of the match itself, Diana? Did you think it was going to be a good match? Well, you've put one of 2 match of the night matches. This was your other match of the night, and give us a quick sort of reasoning why. There was a couple of very good spots. Perry powerbombed Garcia through the timekeeper's table, threw a bit of rubbish on him. That I thought was a bit quite cool. Garcia did tease using the title to sort of get the win, because obviously Jack Perry bought it into the match in the first place, but it just didn't. The match itself didn't really click overall, even though we got a new TNT champion. So I'm just going to wait for Diana to see what she says. But in terms of matches, it didn't feel as big as it probably should have been, especially with the character of the scapegoat. Daniel Garcia's been going over lately. I think. What about yourself?
Yeah. No, I agree. I feel like, look, I think Perry's a big star. I like him. I like it very much. I think he works as a heel more than a baby face, because when the day when he does turn face again, and we hear the Jungle Boy music, think of the pop that's going to be. Like, I'm just devastated that I've seen AEW twice in a big stadium and not heard the whoa music that he used to have.
Yeah.
He turned heel just before the first All In, and I was like, oh no, I'm not going to be able to do the Jungle Boy monkey song. I was really looking forward to doing that. But anyway, we had some other good moments that night. But so I think they've got to eventually build him back because he's now on his own without the Bucks. I do kind of like the idea of him and Okada steadily falling out though, because they need the Young Bucks being the glue to keep the group together. So that's what I'm waiting for here. But I think Garcia, because Okada's still got his belt, hasn't he? The belt that no one cares about, the one Okada holds, the one that everyone's forgotten about. But yeah,
the international championship.
Who even knows? Who even knows anymore with the AW belts? Who even knows? But he's got our belt, which sounds a lot like the other belt that the other guy has. But anyway, I think that's what Perry needs to go and do. Someone needs to they either need to take that belt off Okada or do something with it, or quietly just get rid of it. I don't know. But Garcia is clearly got a rocket strapped to his back. And WWE was sniffing around Garcia as well, so that's probably why. And he's great.
Yeah. Next match was another one that I thought was sort of destined for greatness. Ricochet, Konosuke Takeshita. Oh no, that's the international championship. I completely forgot.
Yeah, see what I mean? What's the one Okada holds? Does anyone even know or care? Do you know what I mean? Does anyone even know or care what Okada holds anymore?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I was short ranting about that.
Let's have a look. No, I was going to say, you'll sort of say what you think about this one. Current AW Continental Champion. That's what it says on the Wikipedia page.
What's the difference between that and the international? Do you remember, they had one that was called the All Atlantic, and that was a cool name, and they got rid of it and changed it to something that sounded like a budget WWE belt. So quite why they did that. The Continental Classic, is that what the other one's called? How is anyone meant to know the difference between that and the international? Like, it's just stupid. Get rid of one of them, AEW. Yeah. Come on. Bring back the FTW Championship.
Yeah, easy. Two people that, again, I love watching in the ring. Ricochet, since leaving, I think has tried to sort of get his name back out there in big-time matches, and he's doing it. He's fighting for titles since leaving WWE, and he said he wasn't really invested in his last sort of year or two in WWE, but he did what was asked of him. Takeshita, I think being part of the Don Callis family has really helped, and it is very fun to watch Takeshita in the ring. And then seeing them both together, I thought was fantastic.
Yeah, let's see. Obviously, I've not seen this match yet. I will say, Ricochet, I groaned when Ricochet came on screen in WWE. Not his fault, completely theirs. Everything they saddled it like he was great in NXT, bloody brilliant in NXT. Then the curse of the main roster, and and it again wasn't his fault. And Ricochet in WWE gave me one of my favorite moments ever, which was when Jess and I were at a house show in Liverpool. They had Ricochet versus Dominic Mysterio. Rhea Ripley was out, kind of helping Mysterio, and Samantha Irvin actually got involved, with the match because it was a house show, so they could be a little bit more free. And there was a moment where Rhea Ripley was dressed up as one of the Beatles and was kind of just like dancing in Samantha Irvin's face. Okay. It was so funny. They actually did show it on TV in an episode of Raw or SmackDown a few weeks later as a kind of this is in a reel of things. But it was for the live crowd. It was really, really funny. And in that match, Ricochet looked like a star. And I remember thinking, well, in this company, this is who he is. He's the guy they put out on the house show circuit, who all the kids want autographs from and think is amazing. So, long story short, since I've seen him in AEW though, he feels like a star again. He feels amazing again. And I'm like, there are some people I don't think should. There are some people who work in AEW, and there are some people who work better in WWE. And sometimes the times, it sometimes does depend on the timing as well. But in this particular moment, Ricochet in AEW feels like a much bigger deal than he ever felt like in WWE. That sometimes works in reverse. Some people go from AEW, some people go to AEW from WWE and don't work out, like Malachi Black. I think that experiment in AEW was failed. And I think he should be back in WWE. I think that's the same true of a few other people. Like, this isn't me pitting one company against another. It's just certain shapes fit better into certain holes. It's just that, and that's what it is with Ricochet for me. But anyway, and that's cool. Yeah, he's a nice lad, isn't he? Ricochet. He's very earnest, and but I'll get on to all I can see is take shitter. Bless him. When I see that name written down, but Takeshita is great. But I feel like he needs more personality other than Don Callis's troubleshooter. They need to do more with him now because he's on the verge of being. Who's that really very, very large Indian man that follows Jay Lethal around? Takeshita's on the verge. Do you know who I mean? Like, doesn't ever do anything. Gets paid to stand there and be tall. Takeshita is a little bit like, it does work in the ring, but Takeshita's got a lot more going for him. I'd love him to. I'd love him to portray the Don Callis family and be like, I don't need you now. I made my money. I've got my belt. Like, you guys can skedaddle now, like the Authors of Pain did to Paul Ellering that time. I know they've got back with him, but like when they were just, I'd love him to just become so evil that the Don Callis family can't control him. That's what they need to do with Takeshita, in my opinion.
Yeah. Last but one match. Oh, go.
Oh, sorry, mate. I was going to say, or have him have a match with Okada, and whoever wins unifies the two stupid intercontinental international belts. Do that.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Last but one match of the night. One of the newest stars on AEW, Bobby Lashley going up against Swerve Strickland. And again, this is a match that I think had a lot of good potential. Swerve Strickland has come off being the world champion not that long ago. Bobby Lashley, one of the freshest faces in AEW, but an absolutely massive name. What do you think you would expect in this one then?
Let's see, Deanna's asking me who's going over in that case. I actually don't care, Indiana. I like them both. I feel like I know Dan's just asked me a question and I will answer it. But I think Okada, they've kind of forgotten he's a massive star. I feel like we're all just waiting for him to deliver bitch. And I'm not going to lie, it makes me howl every time he does it. But Takeshita seems more of a threat in the ring at the moment. So maybe him. I love the idea of perhaps Takeshita beating Okada, unifying those two exactly the same belts, and Okada being like, this doesn't happen. I'm Okada. I'm a 7-star Okada. Are you serious? I think that'd be fun. But anyway, back to Dan's question. Oh my God, this is the other one I can't wait for. I love Swerve. I love Lashley. The two. My dog has just invaded the room. Hello. I think that Swerve is a very visceral but smaller guy, where Lashley is like a Brock Lesnar kind of figure. So I'm very, very, very excited to watch this one. But because I think it'd be a real styles clash. Like, this really is AEW versus WWE. This match, so that's why I'm excited to watch it. Love both guys. I'm excited that Lashley's in AEW. I would have liked him to have stuck around in WWE because I feel like he had unfinished business there, but I'd rather have him on this stage than none. And I was going to eject my dog down while you talk.
All right, not a problem. I mean, now Sam's off for a second. I thought the match itself was very good. It wasn't really about super big spots. It wasn't about creating loads of different sort of highlight reels. It was about two people going to war. Having Lashley win, I think, makes more sense. Obviously, is the big new star, and I think he could be champion at some point, a bit further down the line. Sam's just removed himself completely for a minute, but yeah, I think Strickland, we know he's a big star. He looks absolutely amazing. He's so good in the ring, and it was this time last year that he started that rise to that world title, going up against Hangman Page. So this pay-per-view, Full Gear, has got a little bit of history for him. So Jacobs Lashley has a solid run in AEW. I agree. The Hurt Business, the Hurt Syndicate, whatever you want to call them. I think because it is so close to the WWE gimmick, I do think it is very easy to continue that story. I agree Lashley needed the win. Yeah, I agree. And all the characters don't seem to be putting on a character. Like we were saying earlier on with Mercedes Moné, that's such a WWE gimmick, it's hard to see it not as Sasha Banks. Whereas Bobby Lashley, it just looks like it is Bobby Lashley playing himself, MVP playing himself, Shelton Benjamin playing himself. So it doesn't feel out of the realms of normality to see that group stick together. He's also going to be allowed to do MMA stuff. Again, I wouldn't want to go up against Bobby Lashley anywhere, whether it is in a WWE ring, even though I know he'd look after me and make sure I was safe, or in an MMA ring, or octagon, if you like. That would terrify me. So now you're back. Have you watched the main event yet?
No, I'll tell you what I did while I was away. I let my dog have a wee, so it wasn't very exciting. That's what I was doing. But
okay.
no,
I was going to say, while you was off, I did sort of talk about a couple of things that happened in the match, but I waited till you was off so you didn't actually hear it.
I actually heard you, but don't worry about it. But yeah, this is the other one I'm really looking forward to watch. I kind of wish I had got this one seen before, but yeah, love both guys. Can't wait to see what they do next. Here we go.
Yeah. Main event time: Orange Cassidy challenging Moxley for that AEW World Championship. Orange Cassidy, I remember watching him very early in AEW's sort of history, and I'm just thinking, this is a comedy character. He's never going to do anything apart from be a low-level mid-carder with best friends. And you look at him now challenging for world championships, and he's probably one of the most believable characters on the roster, I think.
Yeah, my exposure to him started way before AEW was even a twinkle in Tony Khan's eye. So I was watching him on the Indies, and the biggest match I ever saw was a match between him and Velveteen Dream, which is like an NXT crossover with WWN event for Evolve Wrestling. And I remember thinking, so I knew who he was. I knew he'd drink orange juice halfway through a match, and the crowd would chat juice up, and he'd then Hulk out like Hulk Hogan. He's never done that in AEW. He did the whole "I'm going to kick you." He did all that stuff there, and I thought he was really funny. And then in that Velveteen Dream match, it got really violent and really serious as well. So I remember thinking, this guy's actually really good. And when I heard he had signed with AEW, I thought, well, that's actually a pretty good signing because he's a bit different. And he's also a guy who's coached and trained a lot of other wrestlers. So he knows his stuff. Like, he's not just some kid who wears jeans or pretend jeans to the ring. He's always been like good at what he does. I get some people think he's a bit kayfabe breaking, so they don't like him. Like Jim Cornette is probably his biggest critic. And I do understand that criticism, and I do kind of sympathise with it as well. But nah, the guy can go. I'm sorry, the guy can go. And this current Moxley gimmick is exactly what he needs. Like, I don't think he's a massively believable threat against someone like Moxley, but that's the entire point. That's the whole point of this story. Yeah. That's what Moxley's trying to say, which is why I already know Moxley goes over, but it's why Moxley was always going over. Because whatever Moxley's doing, there's a greater cause behind what he's doing. And I think when that is revealed, we'll all go, oh, right, okay. Like, I don't know what that's going to be yet, but putting down Orange Cassidy was a big part of that, a big part of why they've done it. So, see, like, I actually think this is the right time for Cassidy to challenge Moxley, but it's not the right time for him to win. That's where we're at. Like, Moxley is meant to be one of the hardest guys on the roster. That's probably true in real life. It's true in kayfabe as well. Cassidy can go, but he's not on Moxley's level, which is why Moxley is a 3-time. Is it 3-time or is it 4-time now? AEW World Champion, and Cassidy isn't. I think it's 4, isn't it now? Yeah, because one of them was really was kind of blink and you miss it. But so I'm into what they're doing because it's giving Cassidy an edge. It's made him a bit more. Like, I used to kind of giggle when he came to the ring and sing along to his fantastic theme music. But now I'm a bit interested. Like, they've resisted the urge to turn him heel a few times, which has been good. But yeah, I'm curious to know where this goes, because now, should Cassidy ever beat Moxley, should that day come, it'll be worth more now. And like now he's seen Mox's game and figured out how to take him down. That's what he needs. Like, but no one should beat Moxley for a while. No.
Yeah, I think, yes, I've just double checked. It's his 4th reign. He won it at Wrestle Dream when he beat Bryan Danielson. But yeah, I mean, have you seen what went on after the match?
I've heard.
Been on any sort of media.
I've heard some things, but while we're here, Dan, why don't you walk me through it?
I don't want to spoil it because it is.
All right.
It's a good ending. The problem that I do have with the ending of it is AEW seems to have a bit of a habit of taking the ending of a show and dragging it on too long. Okay. Sometimes you want someone winning a match, standing in the ring, holding the title up, lights go out, job done.
Sometimes.
And it gives a clear, definitive end to the show. Other times, and it happens more often, I think, than I like with AEW, is they have the bell ring and then you've got another 10 minutes of something going on after it.
See,
whether it's a beatdown.
I'm in two minds. I agree with. Sorry, it's that delay kicking in. Sorry, dude. I'm of the view that for every pay-per-view, I get mad if it doesn't further the story significantly, or even subtly, even in the right kind of way. Like, for example, my favorite finish to a pay-per-view was Sami Zayn betraying the bloodline and being laid out and covered in the Ulafala things. Like, that was one of the greatest finishes. Like, that was a moment that after the match went on for ages, but it was such a moment, and like that was a moment that every wrestling fan around the world was talking about that the next day. So I am a big fan of when they do that, but I think pay-per-views need to do two things. They either need to blow off a story or significantly further it in some way. So if this does that, because I don't fully know what happened, so if this does that, then great. But yeah, like when when Danielson won, and we just had people holding him up and celebrating with him. Yeah, that was a great moment. So yeah, I do like it when pay-per-views end with them holding up the belt, because that's a definitive victory. That's moved on the story. They've won the belt. But if there is a big, if it's, because the thing with what I need AEW to do right now is have some decent storylines, and that's what I need from AEW right now. WWE's got them coming out of their ears. TNA's got them coming out of their ears. I need AEW to meet me now, meet me in the middle. So if it does that, I'm game for it. But you're right. There's a time and a place for a pay-per-view to just end. But there's also, I think, a time and a place for some cinematic storytelling, like with the Sami Zayn thing that time. And AEW can actually be very good at that. Like early years, the very, very early years of AEW were brilliant at doing that. For example, do you remember when Moxley entered the company and made a beeline for Omega straight away? Like, that was awesome. Like so, but it was simple.
It was such a big shock.
Yeah, and that was two of the best in the world. Two of the best in the world, tangling. Yeah, so yeah, I'll reserve judgment until I've seen it. I think probably tomorrow.
Yeah, like I said, that's why I didn't want to go too far into it. I just wanted to make the point of sometimes the ending of a show doesn't feel like the end because of how much goes on after it.
Yeah.
But I mean, with that one, Jake said, I think Sami Callihan will debut as part of the Moxley stuff. And Marcus said, I don't think AEW want him. I don't know. I think he's a great performer, but I just don't think he's an AEW or a WWE fit. I think he is a TNA Ring of Honor style fit.
Because he's in TNA right now, isn't he? Callahan.
Yeah.
We've interviewed him over on WrestleSphere, by the way, and bless him, he gave Andy hell at the start, but it was good interview. It was great watch. But if you want to have a giggle, go and watch the WrestleSphere interview with Sami Callihan after this stream, of course. But
yes.
But yeah, I think personally, I kind of like Sami Callihan to go to WWE. Because I feel like in AEW, because it's a little bit more, I can't believe I'm using this bloody word, but because AEW is a little bit more outlaw, a little bit less family friendly, like they could do more with him. But I'd love to see Sami Callihan with the production values of WWE. What can they do with that character in WWE? Because I feel like, do you know what I mean? I feel like I know what AEW will do with him. They'll make him go all crazy in baseball bats and the draw and all of those.
Throw up against Moxley and Kingston and
I don't need to see him have death matches in AEW. I've seen him have great ones in TNA and elsewhere. So what is Sami Callihan with a good story behind him in WWE? That's what I'd be more keen to see, dare I say.
Yeah. So
well, that far, Mark.
Now,
I wouldn't go that far, but I want to see Sami Callihan with some real production values behind him. That's really what I'm saying, really. Sorry, Dan.
Because now I was going to say, he appeared in WWE for a couple of years as Solomon Crowe, didn't he? And just didn't happen.
I think it was Jeremiah Crane, but that's a bloody cool name too. I don't know where that.
Yeah, it was Jeremiah Crane and Solomon Crowe.
Oh, was he? Oh, right. In that case, they're two wicked names, by the way. Can we just can we bring them back? So he changed his name, did he? He was Solomon Crowe and Jeremiah Crane. Oh, wow, they're two wicked names. Like, I imagine
I'm just having a quick read on Wikipedia. He made his debut attacking CJ Parker, who's obviously now Juice Robinson.
Bloody hell, yeah, he did. Wow. CJ Parker.
That's a blast from the past.
Two guys as well in a parallel universe who probably went on to be big stars in WWE.
Yeah. So that went on a bit longer than I thought, but we'll have a game of nips. We'll have a quick talk about war games, and then we'll get on with the quiz, because I normally try and keep these to about an hour and a half when we're already at an hour and 25, but I always forget how long an AEW pay-per-view goes on.
Yeah, I need to be in bed before midnight. That's all I know. But other than that, we should be all right.
All right. So, actually, I might save the Nips game until Monday Night Raw then, and we'll get on with the quiz if everyone wants. That sound like fun to everyone?
That sounds like fun to me.
So, as always, get your phones, get your additional devices, because what I'm going to do is bring... I'm just going to take the overlay off.
Look how bad my phone case is now, Dan. That used to be a nice Balla Club case. I think it's the same one I brought you and I went to meet.
Yes, it is. So we're waiting for players. Go to your phone or scan the QR code. Type in 276090kahoot.it and you will be able to join in the quiz. 20 questions. Yeah, we'll save the nips for the ad breaks. AW pay-per-views are so long. Oh, we've got a new person called Finn Balor that's entering this time.
What? Balla Club. Right, I'm...
got Daz in.
So 2...
And again, with these, Sam hasn't had any involvement in this. So it is literally you've got to try and beat the professional wrestling journalist in a way.
Which I came last time, so don't worry about it.
So did Ant when Ant was on. He was last as well.
Was he? Was he?
Yeah. So we've got Sam, we've got Daz, we've got Balor. Are you joining, Jake?
This music.
Oh, and also Deanna, if you're still in, are you having a go in the quiz as well?
I'm going to use this music for my next fantasy booking video.
It's amazing. I love the music. So we are going to give it another minute or two just to make sure that everyone's got in who wants to be in. Are you joining, Jake? Deanna?
This music reminds me of like old school Nintendo or something.
Yeah, it does feel like it's straight out of the 80s, doesn't it?
Jump on some shrooms. That was me getting big because I got a shroom. I bought a mushroom.
So while we're waiting, do you want to give yourself your plug?
Oh yeah, guys. Looks like it's only 3 of us. This is going to be a slaughter. Anyway, guys, check out WrestleSphere. I know you hear me say it all the time. Check out ScreenSphere. We launched that a little while ago. Been a big success. But we'd, I'm tired tonight, so I'm not on my plug game. But yeah, WrestleSphere, SoundSphere, and if you want to read some of the stuff I put out there about gaming a lot more, have a little look at what I put over there on Deserto, because I write a lot of features that, and one of them went very, very viral the other day. So that was fun. But so there you go. Professional journalist.
Obviously on Friday nights every so often, one of us might even join Andy Spores, who was in earlier on. With Roller Coaster of Running.
Yes.
Yeah, Roller Coaster of Running. Wrestling Royalty, it's the same person. Go check them out. Give them some love. Give them some support. And I am going to, I know we've obviously got the Kahoot thing on there, but I'm just going to play the Hot Tag Foundation just before we go into the quiz itself. So, Hot Tag are a local foundation that have been set up. They are sort of trying to promote a lot of positivity across the UK in the pro wrestling community. So they are doing what's called the Toil Rumble. It is live. Scan the QR code. You can still donate at the minute. It is the last few days. You have just got to reach out. Go to the Facebook page, go to the Instagram page, check them out, scan the QR code to find out more. And we did have Dan from Wrestling Royalty, Hot Tag Foundation on a few weeks ago just to talk about that. So just go and give them a little bit of love. And again, use their motto, you've just got to reach out. Whether it's mental health, whether it's physical health, whether it is just talking to someone. That is what they are there for. So we are ready. We've got 4 people in, so someone doesn't have to wait around for a medal if you don't want. So we'll start off. Here we go. First question.
I'm going to win this time.
It's WWE 3. That's what we've done. There we go. How many times has The Miz been Intercontinental Champion? Yeah. So people did get that one right. So it was 8. And who got it faster? So Mark got it a fraction faster. The faster you answer, the
That's
more
not fair.
points you get, and the more questions you get right in a row, the more points you get on your streak. So next question. See if Daz and the Ginge can get off the mark. Who did Bret Hart submit in his last ever match? And this was such a very unusual one. So he actually went up with John Cena in a tag match against Alberto Del Rio and Ricardo Rodriguez, and he submitted Ricardo Rodriguez in the sharpshooter.
See, I didn't know that.
So
Mark is killing it.
Obviously got that one. 2 questions right in a row. See if you can get number 3. Who has been blacked out from this photo? Very simple. 3 people. Who is the person that you cannot see?
Oh, yeah.
So it was the Monster Among Men when he was working with Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre when Drew first sort of came back to the main roster.
Dogs of War.
So the Ginge still trying to get off the mark. Mark's got a hat trick of answers. Next one, which wrestler won the 2021 Royal Rumble? It's an easy question. Nothing too hard at the minute. So we've got 3 answers in. Just waiting for the 4th.
Oh, I got it wrong.
So it was Edge. It was Edge. It was.
Man, oh well. That's me lost now.
So the streak has ended. King Ginge is off the mark. Daz is just in 4th place at the minute. Let's see if King Ginge can overtake Sam. One of Jake's favourite Royal Rumbles ever. That's probably why he got it right. Who has more 5-star matches as per Dave Meltzer's rating? So you've got Cody Rhodes, Bret Hart, Triple H, or Ricochet.
No,
everyone. Yeah, Cody Rhodes, I think, has 3 5-star matches. Bret Hart, Ricochet, and Triple H only have 2. There we go. Daz is off the mark.
This is always happens. This is always happens.
So, question number 6. Who has the most AEW pay-per-view appearances?
What? As if it's not Jericho.
So, it is not Jericho. The Young Bucks, I think, have appeared on 49. I can't remember, but yeah, it was very unusual facts that I thought completely sounded unrealistic. That's why I put it in there.
I thought Jericho would be top of that tree. The learning tree forever.
So, true or false? Natalya is older than WrestleMania. Is that true? Is that false? You've got 2 options. So you're basically thinking, is she 40 or older? And she is. She's, I think, 41 at the minute, and it's only about 8 months difference between her being born in the very first Royal Rumble, so it's very tight. Everyone else got a big chunk of points there. Daz is chasing Sam down, and King Ginge has just sneaked into first place. There's only 26 points in front now. So this could be how fast you answer. So which wrestler debuted using the name Stevie McFly?
I don't know.
It was Sami Zayn.
Oh, it might be.
And yeah, I thought it was such a cool name. Why didn't he stick with that? So who got that one? Sam's jumped straight up to the top, answered very quickly. And question number 9. How many times did we get a bragging rights pay-per-view?
I'm going to say no.
Oh, everyone picked a different answer on that one.
Yeah.
So who got it right? It was the King Ginge. I think 2009 and 2010. That was it. Just 2 years we got it. Because that to me makes more sense for a brand versus brand than Survivor Series.
Yeah. Yeah.
Halfway through, where is Kenny Omega from? Nice and simple question. They say it every time he comes out to the ring, but we haven't seen him in a while, so you might have forgotten. It is Manitoba, Canada. Oh, got that one. King Ginge and Sam, so pulling it in. Max dropped down. Daz still just in 4th place, but not by much. I've put the wrong name on there. It is supposed to be Mark Henry, but Undertaker and Mark Henry.
You made me get that wrong, Dan.
I know. I'm going to sort of skip this one, so that one. I mean, I don't know what the circles are for, but there we go. King Ginge, 3 correct answers in a row, so he's building his streak. Next question, number 12. Who has Kofi Kingston not held tag titles with? All names that you probably remember quite well. And that's one I thought he probably would have as Awesome Truth, but never held the tag titles. So Max jumped back up to 3rd. Daz just dropped back down.
I don't think anyone's catching.
Next question.
Now.
Who is AEW's oldest active wrestler? That isn't a photo of them, by the way. That was just an old wrestling photo I found.
Oh, man. I went for Jeff Jarrett. Is it Billy Gunn? No way.
Billy Gunn is 54 years old. When Sting retired, he was holding that title for a long while, but yeah, dropped to Billy Gunn. So Sam's dropped down into 3rd place. Max put Kofi wasn't Awesome Truth. I know. I don't know why I thought it was. Has Triple H for all 3 of personas of Mick Foley, Dude Love, Cactus Jack, and Mankind? He has. But 2 of them are a lot more well known than the other. Sam's jumped up. Max dropped back down. Sam's chasing Jake for that top spot.
Oh, man.
You have only got 5 questions left. 15. I was going to put a photo of Busted in there because they did a song called Who's David, but I don't think anyone would have got that reference.
I think I've got that one wrong, but yeah. I
So,
knew that.
It's Jonathan David Wood as his real name. So his real name his middle name is David.
No one get that one.
So, as we have, no one got that one right. Next question, number 16. Who did AJ Styles take the WWE Championship off at a house show in the UK?
I know that one.
Yeah, because I was actually at the Monday Night Raw before this happened, and I was devastated.
Well, yeah. Oh, no way.
Yeah, I was at the Raw where Pete Dunne was debuted when Kurt Angle came out just beforehand to take on Enzo Amore. So, question 17. Oh, no. There was a good slam of points handed to Jake, Sam, and Mark. But number 17. How many Royal Rumbles has there been, including the greatest Royal Rumble? In total, how many Royal Rumbles has there been?
Bugger. So close.
Did you get that one?
Nah. 2 off.
No. So, You need to chase Jake down, Sam. If you get the next couple of questions right, you've got a good chance. So it could be fighting out for silver medal place, Sam and Mark.
Yeah, it's the silver now.
There we go. Number 18. So who is Paige Wooding as the character? What wrestler goes home and signs Paige Wooding instead of their character's name?
Not a clue.
Not a clue, but 3 people got it right. And the one that didn't was Jake. You have that one. Last but one, who was the very first person to beat Hulk Hogan for the WWE Championship? And again, this should be nice and simple. Jake found that out 2 days ago. Very good building up your knowledge then, Jake. So it was Andre the Giant, and can people remember where it was?
Was it Madison Square Garden?
Yep.
Yeah.
So this last question, I think if Mark answers it as soon as it pops up on screen, he could sneak the win if Jake gets it wrong. Because you're on a streak and it's 1,000 points, but you'd get your bonus on that streak. So if you answer it before Mark does, Sam, and Mark gets it wrong, you could take second place. So last question. In what city was WrestleMania 30 held?
Oh, I'm not a flipping clue. Oh, no, I got it wrong. I can tell. Oh, it was New Orleans. I should have looked at the picture.
New Orleans.
Yeah, anyway.
It was the Superdome.
Yeah, I lose.
First Mania Jake watched live. So here we go. On the podium, in third place, you've got Sam. Well done, Sam. Mark in second. And out in the lead, it was Dinge. Jake, well done, man. Well done. I don't like the way they look, sort of like a little dance up there.
Oh, man. Next.
So, yeah, we'll get rid of that. So, I hope everyone had fun on that one.
Yeah.
5945. Not yet. Dan's got 5944, so not far behind Sam. Another question, and he'd been right on Sam's tail. But, yeah, we've had a good hour and 45 minutes. Yep, Jake finally gets the win. Been fighting for long enough, haven't you, Jake? You've got your win, so you're champion 2 weeks' time. Boyhood dream has come true, 100%. I think this week, we'll be back in 2 weeks' time for another hangout. We'll be discussing probably what's happened on Survivor Series, maybe looking forward to main event, WWE's Saturday night main event that's happening in December. I'll be back for Monday Night Raw tomorrow night, and I think we'll be back on Wednesday for AEW Dynamite.
No, he won't be. He's off this week. He's got stuff to do, so we won't see any Anthony this week. I don't think it's this week anyway. But yeah.
I might see if I can do it then, depending on how I feel and how tired I am. But it's been a pleasure as always. Hope we've made your Sunday night evening a little bit more fun than normal. So have a good week, and we shall see you soon, guys. Have fun.
This is the hardcore legend, Mick Foley. Well, hello and welcome to Give Me a Hall Yeah. I hope everyone there, right there in Yorkshire, is having a nice day. Bang, bang. Have a nice day. Yeah.